So, for a disclaimer, obviously, I'll record this, put it on YouTube, so you've got it to come back to. It just saves us writing a ton of notes and stuff like that. And so let's have a look. So obviously, I don't know anything that's happening in this game, so I'm kind of in the dark about what goes down. So, kind of my opinions with what should happen, does happen, could happen, are kind of a little bit more genuine, I think, when it comes to things like this.
Right.
So let's have a look where we are going. So we start off here. This is fine. So let's see how we clear. Okay. So one of the things that makes Fiddlesticks really hard is that he's very unique.
Right.
So let's see how we start. So we are going leashless, which is good. Do we manage to pull off the early? Okay. Oh, wait. Nice.
So I'm still it's only really the Gromp that I can do more confidently.
Okay, I mean,
I pulled it off in this game, but
yeah, this is
I
fine.
do struggle with this a bit.
I mean, this is good.
So
what you can do as well is before you suck the blue, what you can do is you can W the wolf once, and then layer it up, and then after you've done it once, then you can kind of walk up to the blue and then catch the blue as well, and do it like that, because then what you do then is you pull the blue over and then you do blue and Gromp here. I mean, this is okay too. I think that's just a little bit quicker. You'll shave like a second or two.
Right. And one thing I was going to ask you as well, it doesn't pertain so much to Fiddlesticks here, but if I'm on, I don't know, as an example, maybe Trundle, and I do end up leashless or what have you, sometimes what I'll do is smite the blue level 1 so that I would have both my Q and W to be able to take the Gromp down quicker. Is that like, because I haven't really seen that a whole lot.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you don't get a leash using your smite instead, it's good. So what you can do here as well, bait them over first and then E. So like when you're here, put an auto into one of these, then walk here, E, and then these will already be here. So you're here. It'll just, again, like, you're doing the clear right, which is very good to see on a Fiddlesticks like player, especially in kind of these elo brackets. So it's very nice to see. It's just a few little efficiency issues so far.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So let's see. Okay, that's fine. Nice. So here, I think smite the big one. Do you do it? Okay, no. So just smite the big one here.
Okay. So I guess the reason I hadn't done it there, and a lot of my games I don't.
It's saving it for Scuttle, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
In general, is it better to have it used and just use your abilities on Scuttle?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can. 1 second, let me just. So here you do smite on it. So I mean, you can Q the crab as well, and it'll fear it, and that'll get rid of the shield too. It's just any CC on it will get rid of it.
Right.
So you don't have to use smite. You can use smite for speed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then you just fear it, and does the same thing really. Okay. So this is fine. I mean, it's a little bit of just a wet noodle fight. I'm not really going to get anything out of this. Oh, okay, maybe. Okay, I mean, so this is good. Why do you think this is good?
So I would have probably argued that it was bad.
Okay.
Because they generated additional gold where they had the assist and I didn't.
So the thing with stuff like this, you have to think is who's going to be stronger with gold, you or Viego?
Gotcha.
Probably you, right? Like, okay, let's see what we do here. Oh wait, what runes did we go?
So I think I went with Electrocute.
No, so we really want to learn how to first strike, I think, on fiddles.
Okay.
Because
Right.
the reason why it's so good is because like your ultimate also requires them to not have vision of you. So it just combos really, really nicely
Gotcha.
with that. Plus, then, because here we've gone magical footwear, so you don't really want to do that on Fiddlesticks, because on AP junglers you want soul shoes first in solo queue,
Okay.
because the magic pen is so good. Like 1100 gold for 18 magic pen is insane.
Right.
So yeah, again, that early is really, really big. So we are just
Gotcha,
clearing
okay.
though, which is good. This could sit. I mean, early game so far is completely fine. Oh, that maybe didn't try. Jeez. Okay, nice flash. Okay, so this is where we're just veering a little bit off. Yeah, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do we die here? Oh, maybe we get kills. Yeah, this is
if I remember correctly, this ended up working out just
okay.
because of the morgue
Yeah.
roam.
Okay, so one of the reasons this is bad. So A, like make sure you're using your F keys to look over mid, see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
B, like we're never gonna get anything here. Like you need to be able to look at what's going on and go, okay, can we actually get anything? In this situation, nah, not really. Zed doesn't have ult yet. He flashes away. So what do you think we should have done instead?
At this point, I would say probably go either Krugs or Clear Vision on 3.
Yeah, Krugs, because what's going to happen now is, well, what should happen is you take your Krugs and then you would maybe get some vision on bot side and maybe put some effigies down, maybe here and here, maybe even one on here just to keep it safe. What you do is you then take Krugs, you walk up through here, you see if there's anything you can do top. If not, that's fine. Then your blue buff will respawn. You can get your blue, and then what you do is you go. That'll also get you 6 because we've got a kill, and then we go Grump, Raptors, Chickens, Krugs, Red, and then we level 6 bot.
Gotcha.
So sequencing your camps is super important. Wasting kind of time for things that aren't going to give you anything. I say this a lot, but ganks are an investment. So it's like investing in stocks. If you're not going to see any valuable return, then there's no point in investing in the first place. So it's, even though you're a jungler and junglers are pretty low resource for the majority, Fiddles is one of the few junglers who can completely solo carry 1v5 a game. He is completely broken. He's just kind of awkward to play. Because now what's going to happen is, see this blue buff respawning? So now we're going to go do that. Hopefully we sequence down, but then our Krugs aren't going to be available. Okay, Viego is trolling, but... So here, oh, I hope you don't go for this. So another thing as well that I've just noticed with your build, never rush alternator. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Because the thing you have to think is alternator is designed for poking. So if you're playing like a champion that can just randomly poke and make use of it off one ability, then it can be okay. So let's say, for example, we are playing something like Zoe, where we can just, when it's up, we can get a Q off on them, do a lot of damage. Great. With Fiddlesticks, we're doing a lot more consistent damage. And what's going to happen is once we've used this activation, we're going to get nothing. We're not really going to get much. So in this case, just go Blasting Wand instead. It gives you pure AP, which is just way better on first sight.
Gotcha. And you had mentioned earlier around not taking magical footwear.
Yeah.
If I didn't, would
then
it
you'd
have
rush
been
Sulks.
better to go like, right? Okay.
Your Sulks first item. Because not only does Sulks give you a ton of magic pen, so see here I was 6 already. So not only does Sulks give a massive amount of magic pen, but they also give you movement speed, which helps you with everything. Staying and keeping them inside your ultimate, walking through your jungle to clear. Like, all of these things are affected by movement speed, which you get from silk boots.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're super cheap and they give so much. Magic pen. So the way armor and stuff works too is the lower amounts give a lot more. A lot more. So it's really, really good.
Gotcha.
Alright, so let's just see how you clear. Right, so so yeah, lower amounts give you more.
Gotcha.
So let's say, actually I should probably give an example. So let's say, for example, we have 10 armor. That's going to come to a 9% damage reduction. Then 20. How much do you think 20 is? Considering 10 is 9.
I think it's probably like 16 or 17.
Yeah, okay, it was a trick question, but you nailed it. Yeah. So it's not linear, you see. 30, how much do we think 30 is?
Probably further down again, like the 25 or 24.
23. So we end up in this kind of position where the more armor we get, the less it's worth. Now this also works for you too, because if, say, for example, we're playing Fiddlesticks, let's say, so the average armor is between around 28 to 34 on average. So what ends up happening is, if, say, for example, let's just say we're at 30, just for calculation's sake, okay? So 30 is 23% damage reduction. Now, let's say, for example, we have 18 of that 30. So we would directly remove 18 from it. So let's just, for, again, argument's sake, say this is 20. This would reduce to 10, which then puts them from 23% to only 9% damage reduction.
Right.
So see how, like, I mean, if we were to do it more accurate, it, you know, maybe be, so 30, this would maybe be like 20, 21, and this would be, so if we were to say 34, which, so 40 is 29, 30 is 23, so if we would say 34 is maybe like 26%, and then we reduce 18, which puts them down to 16, then we could say that 16 was probably about 12%, let's say. Like, I don't know, the actual math is not quite the same, but yeah, so you can see this huge drop. So you would get an additional 14% damage, roughly, purely just from those boots. So it's really, really big. It's super, super OP. And then obviously when we get like a Shadow Flame, that's another 20, which then, you know, we're going at 36, which is basically pure damage. Because if they've only got 34 base, then we're going to reduce them to 0, which means they take 100% damage. So yeah, those boots and also the movement speed, stuff like that, they are incredibly valuable. You'll see once you start buying them, to be honest. Now, some boots, like, for example, if we're playing ADC and we go Berserker Greaves, there's certain matchups where you can't go Berserker Greaves because you won't have enough damage, where Soul Shoes aren't really the same because they give you both the movement speed and the damage. So they're very, very broken. Plus, then you also get Stopwatch for free, which Stopwatch for free on Fiddlesticks is really good at the moment because the price got increased to $750. So you get an extra 100 gold out of it.
Right. Gotcha.
So it's basically 750 gold. Entirely for free. So see kind of what's happening here now. So because we're not prioritizing our camps, we get a really good reset timer here. But then we start walking towards mid. Just clear the camp off. Just clear the camp. Because now, see how we're just kind of wasting so much time, kind of walking around, not really doing anything. And we've got 1,000 gold on us, so taking a fight like this is kind of risky anyway. So yeah, see how we're just kind of like walking around, not really doing anything, just kind of being inefficient in when we're pathing. Your main goal as a jungler is to get as much gold into you as possible, and then play off that. So, this could be good actually if they don't have a ward. Well, they didn't. Nice. Okay, that actually worked out fairly well. Obviously, it did work out well, but it was more that they fucked up. Like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It is low elo. It will happen a lot. So, the initial action that you did wasn't correct, but then the reaction was correct, which is good.
Right. But at the end of the day, it is a high variance play.
Yes. Yeah.
Based off their play. So.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, high variance sometimes can work. Like, sometimes when I just fancied, having fun, I'd just play Xin Zhao and just flip every game and just take fights permanently. I'd still win maybe like 70 to 80% of those games, but it wasn't because I was playing well. It was just because I was catching them off guard, right? So,
right.
It'll happen a lot that the high variance will work in some situations. The thing with League is being able to go, okay, well, this high variance play did work, but if this was into a better player, would it? And then if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, it's probably not good to learn. But it's good to know how to do, because you will get games that do seem a bit doomed, where high variance play is what can actually bring it back really heavily. So this plays into another point, to be honest. So now we got to clear these Krugs, right, because we didn't clear them earlier. But what else is happening on the map, or has happened on the map?
The Grant respawn.
Yep. So what you're doing here is you're flipping your path, which flipping your path can be good. So let's say, for example, we started red, we full cleared, we went like this, bum bum bum. You weren't really on fiddles, but in general. And we did that, and then all of a sudden we secure first herald, we get that, it's like, great. Now we're like, oh, we need to flip our path. So what you do then is you stay on the map a little bit longer, invade their camps, do all this stuff, and then what you do from there is you wait for your entire camps to respawn, and then you flip your path and then go like this, and then every single clear then will then go into Dragon, which will get you to Elder and is all good. Now the issue that we have here is we're at 10 minutes, first herald is gone, there's nothing really top 2 path towards, and now we're kind of flipping our path as well, you see. But the reason why we don't want to flip our path is because we also have so much gold on us. So if, say for example, a fight goes down right now while we're clearing these, we're not going to be able to respond. If we do, we're griefing.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, so we flip this. We catch that wave. Okay, this was nice. Good that we caught the wave.
I get one question.
Yeah.
So for a farm heavy jungle like Fiddlesticks.
Oh God, I just realised what's happening. You also get this bullshit if you path wrong. Trinamir just took your entire topside.
Right.
When you're a farming jungler, which is not fun, but happens. Yeah, what were you saying, sorry?
So if I was a more gank heavy jungle, I haven't had very much success with those at all. Because I found it really hard to sequence given the fact that I can't clear the camps very fast.
Yeah, so you don't sequence on those champs.
Gotcha.
Like you do still sequence, but it's not the same. Instead, with those champs, what you do is you look to the main farm that you get. You look to get an early lead, and then you just look to get that main amount of farm from the enemy jungle. So it's like it doesn't necessarily matter if you're farming slower because you're deleting the gold away from them. Because the thing you have to think is, obviously, we've got 3 camps here, which in general are worth about 300 gold. So each quadrant is worth roughly 300 gold, just shy of 300 gold, but yeah. So what ends up happening is if, say, for example, we get, say, first blood, get a few early kills, we start snowballing, what we do then is we would then look to take control of their quadrants too. So what we do is we know that we're very strong. We'd see, say, for example, this timer, and let's say I'm playing Xin Zhao and I'm 4-0 right now. My first thing to do would be to walk in there and sit on this camp, take it away when he comes, kill him, and go from there. So then what you do is if you kill him, then you take the Gromp and this. And then what you do is you go like this into their top side. Look to kill them again if you have the HP. Champions like Xin Zhao and the early game champs, Xin Zhao, Lee Sin, I mean even things like Rengar to some degree. Like they have quite a lot of healing in their kit. Even though Rengar's kind of from runes, but I guess he has W, but Yeah, so they all have a lot of healing in their kit, so you can get a kill at bot side, get an advantage, well, if you have an advantage, and then you can just go to the opposite side. So this is what's called seesawing. So if you kill someone in this bottom side and take it all, you know they're not going to be there. So the only place they can be is here. So then you go up, you find them again, you kill them, you take these camps. And then when you've taken these camps and there's nothing else to clear, you look to gank a lane, stuff like that. And then what you do is you'll have a ton of gold on you because you've just got 600 gold from here and maybe 2 kills. So let's say, for example, we have about 1200 gold. What we do then is we just come into our jungle and we just clear away every single camp. Doesn't matter how fast or how slow it is, because once we've done this full clear, we get another 600. So in a very short period of time, we just gained 1800 gold, even when we had a lead already. So when you're playing those kind of aggressive junglers, that's kind of what you look for. There are some champs that can do it at level 1, like a common strategy that you can do on Graves is to late invade and just kill them on red, take it, and then just path straight up to their blue side. You can do it on like Kane. What you can do is you can ward here early, wait until they're on the red, and then you can take this really quick and then run over, smite the red, and run off. So yeah, you do get champions that can do that. In general, it's, you know, it's not really something you do on Fiddlesticks, stuff like that. But what do you think is a big problem here? Like, sure, we're going to soak this wave, but...
Yeah, I think, well, from the get-go, the attempted gank was probably...
yeah, not too good.
Given the fact that I had half my gold not spent yet. And then, again, continuing to stay way too long.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen now is, even though we're really, really ahead, if Viego goes to bot like this, we can't react because we've got so much gold. We need to reset.
Right.
So there's not really that much you can do. Yeah, even here, like, we're just going to tickle him because we've got no damage. Because we've got it in a... Well, I mean, we do have damage, but it's sat in our pouch. So remember, all of the gold in that pouch is gold that you could be using on stats, but you haven't yet.
Right, gotcha. And, like, I guess to that point, would it be... So I stayed to save a couple of tower plates there. But given I had so much in my inventory, would it have been more beneficial to have backed?
Not in that moment, but you should have backed away earlier.
Right, it shouldn't have even got that.
Yeah. Now, the next big thing is, what's the reasoning behind your mythic?
I think it was for the initial burst of dam.
The burst? What did you say, sorry?
Yeah, the geez, sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
So if I bring up that item, oh, right, it was the move speed and the ability.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, don't get me wrong, 25 move speed can be okay. How much movement speed do you think Rocket Bell gives?
That's a good question. I don't have anything.
No worries. So don't worry. They're kind of trick questions. I'm just seeing if you know or not. So Rocket Bell gives 30% movement speed.
Oh, okay.
So it gives 5% more movement speed. The stats are better. I mean, you get 50 less HP, but it doesn't really matter that much. You get 10 more ability haste on Night Harvester. So for champions that rely on ability haste, a lot more. Like Fiddlesticks doesn't like really rely on ability haste because his W is such a short cooldown. His ultimate is a really big ability that you just kind of jump in and use. His E's Q isn't even on a huge cooldown, to be honest. Like, so you're not really getting that much from benefit from Night Harvester, and then on top of that, you get even more haste from the Mythic passive. So it's like you already don't really need any more haste, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And again, 125 damage and 15% AP. It's not that great. I mean, you get 125 damage and 15% ability power from the missiles anyway on Rocket Belt. But the key part to Rocket Belt is even though the HP is less, doesn't matter. What do you think the Rocket Belt gives that Night Harvester doesn't?
Gives a dash.
So Rocket Belt does, yeah. So remember when we said about Soak Shoes, giving 18 Magic Pen?
Right, the Magic Pen passive.
Yeah, not just the passive. Rocket Belt also has 6 Magic Pen base.
Oh, okay.
And then you get 5 for every legendary item you have. So, what you end up doing is you have the 18 plus 6 here. So this already puts you at 24. Which there's some the champion's MR usually starts at about 25. You've got like Yumi, Kale, Oriana who have like 25 magic resist. So what happens is when you've got Soaks, Rocket Belt, you end up with 24. Then what you do is I would highly suggest. I mean you're already going Dark Seal, right? So what you can do then is as soon as you get to 5 seal stacks, one more kill gets you to 9. Which doesn't give you the movement speed, but 9 is 100% gold efficient for Magi's. So as soon as you get to that 9, you get all of your gold back. Now, what I highly recommend you do is, because Magi's is a legendary item, guess how much Magic Pen it gives?
Right, it's given the 5 from the
Yeah, it gives another 5, which puts us at 29. Which means at this point, we are basically creeping on true damage on some champs.
Gotcha.
So, like the lower end, there's a lot of champions with 28 magic resist. So we're already doing true damage to them. So then we snowball off that, and then we can go. Fiddlesticks is one of the few champions I don't mind Zhonya's on. A lot of champions, Zhonya's is terrible, but Zhonya's really cheap. And again, it will give an extra 5, which then puts you at 34. Which at this point, there is only 3 champions, which I think are Rise, Talon, and Cassiopeia, or maybe Silas, that are 35, 36. Sorry, there's one 35, then there's a 36, and then Talon is 39 magic resist. So those are the only 3 champions that you won't do true damage to. The rest of the game, if they don't have magic resist, then you'll do true damage to them. If they do start then building magic resist, you can go Void Staff. Now, do you know how Void Staff interacts with Magic Pen?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Void Staff does percentage reduction. Magic Pen does flat. Now, percentage always applies before flat. So let's say, for example, they have 100 magic resist, and we get Void Staff. That's going to reduce it by 40%. So that's going to put them then down to 60. And then from 60, if we're reducing another, let's say 34, then we're getting them really low, you see. So because the Void applies first, if they start building magic resistances, we can then go into Void. If they don't, we can go into either Shadow Flame if they have shields, or we can just go into a Rabadon's. Rabadon's is also very good on Fiddlesticks, because if you get ahead, then Rabadon's is always going to be good. So yeah, getting ahead is the key to that. But yeah, like in these elos, you should always really be looking to get ahead, which we have this game, and we're farming well. So far, your early game, to be honest, on the champion as difficult as Fiddlesticks has been fine, which is good, which means that your mechanical skill on the champion is actually okay up until this point in the VOD anyway. It's now just a case of things like your efficiency, your item build, stuff like that, really, and you're going to climb without any real issue whatsoever, I presume. Obviously, there might be some like really big mistakes that come out of this now, but I think the main thing so far have been your efficiency, which has been a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, we use a pink. Usually, you don't really buy as many pinks on Fiddlesticks because you have Sweeper on his passive, but it's okay.
Right. Okay, gotcha. And to your earlier point around if they build magic resist, you would build the Void Staff, and if they don't, they would build Shadow Flame.
Or Rabadon's. If you start snowballing, then Rabadon's is better than Shadow Flame. If you're not snowballing as much, then Shadow Flame is great. Yeah, Yeah. Or if, say, for example... So the one thing you have to consider with Zhonya's is... Do they have a comp where if you Zhonya's, you're just going to die again when you come out? So let's say, for example, they have Caitlyn Morgana. And we hop in. And then Zhonya's. We're going to get a Morgana Q on us. We're going to get a Caitlyn Trap on us. We're dead, you know? So just evaluate, if I Zhonya's, will I survive? If the answer is no, then you just may as well go pure damage and do as much as you can before you die. Most of the times you won't even die.
Gotcha.
Like, this champion is very, very strong. So here as well, like, we don't have a huge amount of gold, but we do have camps available, so I would probably recommend getting those camps.
Yeah, so I think one of the points of the mid game and then continuing into the late game that I kind of struggle with is around probably staying too long, just where it kind of gets a little more explosive at that point. And determining when to actually go and do the camps versus stand by in case an engage happens.
I mean, it's okay. But yeah, just focus yourself again for a little bit, I think. And here as well, don't stop multi-clearing. So just because it's later on into the game, don't stop multi-clearing. Like, again, just auto this, move to buy red, either red, and then clear them both.
Right. Okay.
So here... Okay, usually... Okay, maybe if they overcommit, it's... Oh, okay, they got vision on you. That's very sad.
That was...
Okay. Unlucky. Oh, okay. Flashes. Yeah, this was a series of unfortunate events. So the Morgana kind of griefed it, to be honest, but... Like, so what do you think was the issue here? So, have we artificially... What percentage is your minimap on?
I think it's relatively high.
Oh, you haven't changed it out the client, right?
I want to say I did.
Okay.
My minimap scale right now is 207 according to...
Oh, yeah. So, I thought it was a bit big. So, reduce that down to 100.
Okay.
Purely because it's a grey area in terms of Riot's rule set. Because some Riot support agents have said, yeah, it's fine. But then other, like, more strict rules say that if you edit any of the files outside of the game, then it's classed as cheating. So,
Gotcha.
It is potentially bannable. I don't really know anybody that has been banned for it, but it's not really something you want to risk. But also, look in this fight, for example. Like, so your minimap, you don't really need it that big. You just have to make sure that you look at it constantly. Like, but yeah, so see this fight, for example. Like, you could barely see what was going on because this minimap was just in the way.
Right.
So, yes, our camera was off, but, like, see? Like, there... I mean, you're never going to see that, for sure, but... yeah, we just kind of... We didn't really get much vision.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay. This is fine. We get red. Whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and this is...
Oh, we're doing a bit of trolling. I see. Let's go.
Yeah, this is kind of where I...
Yeah.
kind of lose my...
Stacks.
game plan.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, at this point, what do you think your game plan should be?
At this point,
yeah.
I think my game plan... I guess, so from right here, I would think we seem to have top and mid prio, so the Rift Scuttle looks appealing.
Okay.
Outside of that, I do have a decent chunk of change that I should probably spend.
Yes. So the thing is, right here, like, you have quite a lot of gold. You're ahead, but your team aren't. Not really, not much anyway. So the fact that you have all this gold and your team isn't giga ahead means that you need to be ahead. You need to have all your gold spent. So the only time you want to be staying with this much gold is if you're going for the Rabadons. Then it's okay because you need 250, but this much gold is not too good, especially when your team is behind. And you can't really fight with that much gold either. Because let's say, for example, we are worth 5,000. Ooh. It's been a long day. So let's say we're worth 5,000 and the enemy Viego is worth 4,200. let's say we've got 1,200 gold on us. We're actually only worth 3,800. If the Vega is just backed, he's going to have a 400 gold lead on us, even though we are ahead by 800 gold. So it's kind of a case of making sure you're staying, like, obviously you wouldn't reset constantly and do stuff like that, but in general, especially if your team is behind, you want to make sure that you are getting good back resets off. So what you want to do, evaluate the amounts you want when you're back. So you want an I fucked up amount, which is however much you can reset on and still get something. So like 435. Then you will have a good reset timer. So let's say we're going for a blasting one. We got that 850, and then we've got a very good like timer or an optimal timer. So let's say, for example, right here we were going for Shadow Flame. We'd get that 1250. So in your head, when you're leaving the base, have these three amounts, and as soon as you've got like good, that's when you reset. Like this is, as the name suggests, if you've really messed up somehow, then you can still back when you've got that amount. Good is what you would usually back on average, and then optimal is basically what you, it's like the luxury back, you know.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, now we fall behind a bit. The thing is, we don't need to worry. Like, I feel like here we just start stressing about the game. We don't need to. It's just one dragon. We're not on it first. We don't have ult. So we just give it. It's fine. Just don't go to it. Just reset. And then again, start sequencing your camps.
Gotcha.
Okay, nice. We got a little kill there. We'll take it. We'll take it.
And that's, to that, your previous point there, I think that's something that I probably do much is kind of trying to make a Hail Mary to get a Drake that might have a 1 in 100 chance of out.
No need. It's just one Drake of many more. If anything, if you are as fed as you have been in this game, and let's say we don't have these two deaths, so 5-0-1, and we've also farmed efficiently. So right now we could be on like maybe 100. Let's just be reasonable and say 160 CS. It's not quite 10 CS a minute, but definitely achievable, about 9. What we can do in that situation then is, if we're that far ahead, we are going to be on 2 items. So we've got 2 items, we're going to be building towards a 3. There are some games when I'm playing Diana that I can have full build by like 21 minutes. Like 20-21 minutes. Obviously that's not realistic all the time, but if you just farm consistently, it's not unheard of. Usually I'll end up with full build by like 25 minutes max in a lot of games. So what you can then end up doing is, like, if you get to like 5 items, nobody's going to be able to stop you. So let's say, for example, what, this was the first dragon, second dragon?
Second, I believe.
Did we open up our scoreboard anytime recently? Okay, so we're also not opening the scoreboard often either. So do it as well, just have a look what they've got. But let's say that's the second now, and we haven't died these 2 times, and we've got CS instead. Because what you can do is, if enemy jungler goes for the dragon, you just get access to their camps. Which, as a farming jungler, that's great, because then we get all of this, which is, again, basically 3 kills worth of gold. So we get 900 from that, and we end up snowballing super, super hard. We get to a point then, if we're playing Fiddlesticks, and we have all that gold, how on earth are they ever getting that 3rd dragon? Like, as long as you make sure you've got ultimate up for the dragon, there's no way they will ever get it. Ever get it. Then, after that as well, then you'll get the dragon after that. And then you get the dragon after that. And then the one after that. And then you'll find that you'll have 4 dragons stacked of the same dragon, which is great for you. Like, think of all the dragons. You have Cloud, which is great for fiddles. You have Infernal, which again is great for fiddles. You have Mountain. If you jump in, you're super tanky, you've got a shield, great for fiddles. If you go Ocean, you jump in, your ultimate's constantly ticking, you get the benefit constantly, great for Fiddlesticks. And again, even Hex. Hex is just broken. This is good on everyone. And so you see how every single dragon for Fiddlesticks is really, really good. So it doesn't matter how many you have to stack 4 of. Every single dragon that you stack 4 of is going to be valuable.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, don't stress too much. I mean, even if they get the third, it's not the end of the world. You can just play on the fourth and go from there. So just don't worry as much about your games. I used to be a worrier about my games like years ago, maybe like 5 years ago. I used to worry as well, like, oh, if I'm not doing something now, then I'm gonna lose. Funny enough, the first time I got Diamond, what I'd do is I would take Q level 1 on Rammus, I'd get a pull and red buff, and then I'd Q straight into bot lane with E, and then just taunt their ADC and get kill or a flash level 2. Did I need to do that? Pff, no, not all. It was terrible. Like, got me to Diamond, but was it good? Oh, hell no, it was terrible.
Right.
Like, but it worked because it was low elo, and also, you know, it was just in that mindset of I have to do something. If I don't do something, the game's going to snowball, and then I'm not going to be able to do anything. But when you're playing these farming junglers, their main appeal is that they're so hard to take down later on into the game. So here we get this. Okay, good. We get an FG down. Okay. Oh, okay. This is good. Whoop. Oh, this is a shame. And there we go. Easy. Look at that. Killing spree again. This is what I mean. The ult was a bit off, but it was more than good enough. Right. And then we start dragon, but oh, we're going to die. Oh. Ah, unlucky. So yeah, here it was just a bit unfortunate. We're all super low.
Given that Viego was alive here, and I didn't have vision, was this Drake play?
Yes, a tad bit grief, a little bit.
Right.
Because what do you think is going to happen soon? So, tell me what's going to happen soon anyway.
Viego's going to show up.
Yeah, that's one thing. What else? In relation to you. What is coming up soon?
Oh, my ult.
Aha, you've only got 25 seconds on your ultimate. They're not going to be able to kill this with the Viego Gragas in 25 seconds.
Right.
So we just back away from this. We make sure there's a ward in there. Back away. Which there is. It's up here. They've got no support to clear that. We back away. We let them start it. Then we just ult in. Kill them again.
Right.
Like, there's nothing they're going to be able to do about that. They'll have no vision of you as well. They'll get feared. So we don't give away our bounty. We don't lose our stacks. And we still end up killing them, getting there. Oh no, another alternator. Oh no.
Right. I just noticed that.
The curse of the alternator. Okay. So. Oh, they had vision of us. So what do you think you should have done here?
I dropped an effigy first.
Yeah, drop an effigy, deny the vision, and then hop in. We did get the dragon, which is very nice. Unfortunately, we died. But yeah, this kind of like where we're panicking, you know? Like, oh no, the game's gonna lose. We have to do these crazy strategies. When it's like, there's all these things early game we could have done, which would avoid this, but.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, now it's happened. It's good that you're actually stealing those dragons and stuff like that. But so what are we actually building into here? What did you buy this other alternator for? I guess, yeah. I guess for your Shadow Flame, right? But
I think that's what I was going for,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this Night Harvester Shadow Flame build is a pain. Double alternator and build path. Ooh.
Right.
So what do you think is another common factor here that I'm going to point out? So we're going for a fight? Why is this fight bad already?
We're outnumbered.
That's one thing. Something else that we covered.
How
many stats do you have?
Oh, Well, I had quite a bit of cash.
Yeah. You've got 1,500 gold on you again.
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't get me wrong, if you're super strong and you can just go around and be a bruiser with everyone. On Diana, sometimes I end up with a lot of gold because I am just keeping up tempo like crazy. Nobody can really kill me, especially when I've got 2 items. Fiddlesticks doesn't really have that luxury. You can't really go Sunfire, so you end up in a position where on Fiddlesticks you are not gonna be. Oh no, we go Banshees now. Oh no, oh no. What do we go Banshees against?
Against I took it because of the Gragas and Mumu damage.
Okay, so the thing with Banshees this game, there's way too much to block. Like, there's way too much. Banshees would be like, do they have like a Blitzcrank? Like, if yes, Banshees can be okay because it'll block the Blitz. At this point, what's going to happen is we're not far enough ahead in order to build resistances here. We need more damage.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's like when you're super ahead, that's when you itemize into resistances. When you're even or behind, that's when you go into damage. The logic is that, let's say for example we build resistances and we don't have enough damage. We are going to survive longer, but we're still not going to be able to kill them.
Right.
This banding got kind of melted.
And to, I guess, one question on itemization.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily apply to this game. A lot of the time, I feel like building heal cut is almost detrimental because it just feels like it doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, you never go anti-heal on Fiddlesticks. Because it's like, okay, you just don't do it. Like, it's not really one of the stats that he likes.
Right.
Like, it's like, there are some games that, like, maybe, like, let's say, for example, we're into Vladimir, and nobody else can build it. So let's say we have 4, well, no, that doesn't even make sense, but let's say nobody else can really build it and apply it on our team, then maybe, but in general, you don't really want to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Again, it's not really one of the items that Fiddlesticks likes. You want raw damage, magic pen. The only real defensive item that you can go that makes sense is Zhonya's.
Right. Okay.
Like, there is some situations where there's some situations where Banshees is viable. There's some situations where Morello could be viable. Because you're currently in the CeeLo, even if you do build them, like, you might not be able to get the most out of them anyway, based on how the teams play out, stuff like that. So instead of variating your items, just go the same items, pretty much every game.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
it's better to just go the same items and know how they work and how you can play with them than it is to vary with a million items that you might not be able to use, you might not take the right use case. Like, honestly, on Fiddles, like, your early clears are completely fine. We're clearing properly. Obviously, we're not sequencing properly. We're dipping out on camps to go for kills that won't really do anything. We've got a little bit too scared that the game is going to get thrown if we don't do something immediately, which isn't really the case. Itemization in general, again, I think just go... change to stopwatch in runes. Now, I mean, I'm not completely opposed to electrocute, to be honest. If you prefer electrocute, that's fine. I really like first strike though, but I mean, electrocute is probably a lot easier. So to be honest, scratch what I said about first strike. First strike can be really awkward to use. So yeah, just continue running electrocute. Just make sure that you change your runes to perfect timing instead of magical footwear, so you can get them soak shoes first item. Soak shoes first, rocket belt. Make sure you get the blasting one before the alternator for rocket belt. Into the rocket belt, into then shadow flame, void, or rabadons, depending. Since you want the magic pen, I would probably say go soak shoes, rocket belt, Zhonya's, and then from there, then you would decide either shadow flame, void, or rabadons. So go with that build path. Just build it every game.
Okay.
Once you hit diamond, you're going to have such a better understanding of the champion that changing your build will be much easier. Because you'll go, okay, well, in this situation, I could really do with having some of this. I know this is good on Fiddlesticks. I know I can make use of it. And then you'll actually use it for the situation you're in. So we actually managed to get... Wait, you dodged that Amumu Q like crazy.
Oh, that was with the
Banshees. Whoop. Yeah. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, just got that again.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's one of them. It's like, sure, correct itemization is it is important. I'm not going to say it isn't, but is it more important than understanding the fundamentals of how your champion works at the moment? No, probably not. Probably not. Like, if you're like a pro player and you're itemizing wrong, okay, that's a big red flag, because it's like you clearly know your champion, but you can't itemize. Whoa, what's going on? But you see it all the time. That players in, say, Korea and China will build the most random things possible that are universally bad, and they won't care because they play the champion so well that it doesn't really matter. They can just outclass the enemies no matter what they build. So, yeah, like, follow suit on that a little bit. Again, just rush that build pretty much every single game. Again, your early clear is good if you can make sure that's consistent. So again, if it's not consistent all the time, hop into practice tool. Just practice it. So if you want to warm up, Fiddlesticks is a great champion to warm up in practice tool because you can do that clear early and it's a good way to warm up. As soon as that clear, like I said, there's a few little inconsistencies that we covered in terms of how you do that early clear. Would be good to clear up. But it's not terrible right now. Like you've got all the spots down, which is actually really good to see. Now it's a case of just making sure that you're sequencing your camps properly, prioritizing yourself, itemizing that build, not going for crazy fights to try and pull a game back when you're already giga ahead, and then just making sure that we're itemizing more damage when we need it, and then defenses when we don't. But again, defenses don't really apply to Fiddlesticks actually, so scratch that. Zone is the only thing. Change your runes, and yeah, other than that, I think that's more than enough from this game specifically, to be honest. So yeah, we end up winning this, which was nice. Not a bad game. Obviously, there was a lot that we covered, but not a bad game at all. So yeah, I'll end the